What's up guys, Guggen Barbecue here, and today we're going to be reverse searing a tomahawk steak that I bought from Walmart. And I generally never buy meat or even go shopping at Walmart, but I was there for something else and I thought I would just browse the meat section, and to my surprise they had tomahawk steaks for $10.47 a pound. I couldn't believe that. And the marbling, to me they almost look like a prime grade or something a little better, but they are choice grade, and today we're going to put it to the test to see if it's any good. I went and checked out Publix as well today, and they had some tomahawk steaks for sale for $9.99 a pound, but they barely had any fat marbling at all. So I'm excited to see if this is going to be where my new supply of tomahawk steaks is going to be. And if you guys like the videos, please consider subscribing. Keeps me motivated to make these really fun videos, and I hope you guys get something out of it. So give me the thumbs up and give me a subscribe if you guys enjoy it. All right guys, so we're gonna get this meat prepped. I did an overnight dry brine on this tomahawk steak in my refrigerator. So I covered this and coated it in coarse salt, kosher salt. And then I let it sit on a rack in my refrigerator for 24 hours. And what that does is it just brines the meat and it really dries the surface. So when you go in to sear it and cook it, it's gonna have a really nice dry surface to get that nice sear on. It also kind of makes the meat a little bit more juicy, and I think it gives it a little bit more of a beefy flavor. So I always do this for all my steaks when I have time. So since I've already coated this in salt last night, I'm just, for seasoning now, I'm just gonna put a little bit of coarse pepper on it. So let's get that on there. All right, that's looking pretty good. And we just want to make sure we coat all sides really, really well. And something I really want to mention about this Walmart steak, if you take a look at it, is, to me, this is a choice grade, but to me it almost looks like a prime grade. I went to Publix today and they had tomahawk steaks on sale for $9.99 a pound, but they had no fat marbling whatsoever. So this Walmart tomahawk for $10.47 a pound, to me, has the marbling of a really nice prime grade steak. So I'm excited to see how this tastes. I've never had a tomahawk steak from Walmart before, and I generally don't buy meat from there or even shop there. So we'll see how it tastes. But let's get the rest of the pepper on here. All right, yeah, it's looking great. And I'm going to be monitoring temperatures today with my meter meat probe, and it does a pretty good job. The only thing I don't like about it is sometimes it disconnects when I put it inside the smoking chamber and then close the lid and I go inside. I'll kind of get some disconnects with it sometimes, but for the most part it works pretty well, and it's just easier to clean than my Inkbird with the wires. But if I'm doing a longer cook, I generally tend to use the Inkbird, just because I don't have to worry about connection problems, and the Inkbird connects to the Wi-Fi, where this doesn't connect to the Wi-Fi. It's Bluetooth only, so you're limited in range. But we're going to go ahead and get this on the pit. I'm going to do a reverse sear. So we're going to put it on the smoking chamber, and it's probably going to cook for about an hour, maybe a little longer than that, and then we'll pull it off and we'll put it on our sear station to finish it off. So stay tuned. So the temperature gauge is reading around 250 degrees. I know just by using this pit a number of times that it's going to be a little bit hotter than that, probably around 275 where I place this tomahawk. So let's get it on the pit. We'll flip it over. This side is a little thicker, and we'll put that towards the fire. So that looks pretty good there. So again, this is going to take about an hour. We'll just monitor the internal temperature. Once it gets to about 115 internal, I'm going to pull it off, and then we're going to put it on our side burner here over the hot fire and the hot coals. All right, so our tomahawk steak is at an internal temperature of 115 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and pull it off the smoker, and then we're going to prepare our sear burner to get a nice sear on it. So let's open up this pit and get it off the smoker. And you can see it's looking really nice. It's got a really nice color to it. And I covered the bone in aluminum foil. First, what I did is I got a damp paper towel and wrapped that around the bone, and then I wrapped aluminum foil over that just so the bone didn't get charred and we had a really nice presentation. So that's just a, you know, a nice tip for you guys if you really care about the bone or not. I mean, it's going to be cut off. We're going to slice it up anyway, but when you put it on a plate to present it to, you know, any company you have over, it's something that you can go ahead and do, and just makes it look a little bit nicer. So now that we got this pulled off, I'm going to build up the fire a little bit and get it ready to sear. All right, so we got our sear station set up. I'm going to get this Tomahawk steak on there, and the only thing we need to be careful of is that we've got the meter plus meat probe in here, and it can't go over an ambient temperature of 550 degrees. Otherwise, you risk damaging the meat probe. So I'm going to keep an eye on that, keep an eye on the app, and make sure it doesn't reach or go over that temperature. But that's the only limitation we'll really have with this meat probe. So I may have to pull that out and just use my instant read. We're only going to be searing this for a couple minutes on each side just to get a nice color and sear on it. So if I have to pull it out, I'm not too worried about it. But let's get it on the pit, or get it on the sear burner. Oh, listen to that sizzle. And I'm just going to hold this down for a couple seconds just to get a nice sear marks on it from the grill grate. And that looks pretty good. So again, I'm probably going to do about 90 seconds aside, maybe a little longer depending on the internal temperature. I'm shooting for around an internal temperature of 133 degrees, which would give us a nice medium rare. Now there is going to be some carryover, so we may end up like with a medium steak, which I'm still okay with, but I am shooting for medium rare. So I'll check back with you guys after I flipped it a couple times. We'll get it off the pit, let it rest, and then we'll slice it up and see how we did. All right, so it's been about 90 seconds. Let's give this a flip. And again, I'm just going to press this and hold it against the hot grate just to get those nice sear marks on it. I can already see really, really nice sear marks on the other side. So we're going to do this for another for another 90 seconds and give it a nice char, and then we'll pull it off, let it rest, and see how we did. All right, guys, so it's been another 90 seconds, and I'm going to pull this off now. The internal temperature of the steak is 128 degrees. And I know there's going to be a little bit of carryover. The temperature is going to continue to rise as we rest it. So I'm going to pull it off now. And let's just take a look at the sear and see how we did. So this is the one side. You can see we've got the really nice sear marks on it. The other side's got a perfect golden brown color. That's exactly what we want. We don't want it to be too charred. We don't want it to be black or anything like that. We want golden brown sear. So this is perfect. All right, so the meat has rested for about 15 minutes, and it did go over a little bit more than I wanted it to. So I was shooting for 133 degrees, and it got up to 135 during the rest, which is still fine. It's still a medium rare steak, and I think it's going to be really good. So we're going to cut the bone off, and then we'll slice it in half and see how well we cook this steak. And you just go right along the edge of that bone the best you can. I left a little bit of meat, but that'll be good for Bixby. And you can already see how good that steak looks, but let's just go ahead and cut that in half and see how it looks. And it just slices like butter. So I'm going to say that is a perfect medium rare steak, and I'm really happy with it. I hope you guys learned something, as far as picked up some good tips from me. If you guys liked the video, please consider subscribing. And we'll go ahead and give Bixby a taste and see if she approves of this meat. So we cut the meat in half. And before we give Bixby a little taste, I got to taste it myself. We got to see if this Walmart steak is something that you want to consider grilling yourself. So I normally pick up prime grade steaks from Costco. But let's just see how this tastes. So this is a nice piece right here. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Guys, it is extremely tender. It is extremely flavorful. For $20, I just was at Costco today, and it was $75 for 2 tomahawks. This is $20 for 1 tomahawk. So it is quite the deal. I really recommend it. This is where I'm going to get tomahawks from now on, Just that marbling alone made it look like a prime grade steak, and for the price you can't beat it. So I'm glad we did this test. I'm glad I just randomly stopped at Walmart and picked one of these up when I saw it. All right, so we've had a taste. Now it's Bixby's turn. Does she approve of the Walmart Tomahawk Steak? What do you think, Bix? Here you go. Oh, I think that's a winner. I think she needs a little bit more. Probably not, but all right, guys, this wraps up the video. I really appreciate everybody watching, and stay tuned for the next video. We'll do something, a really fun cook as well.